Students hate them, teachers hate teaching them, and examiners love including them. Did you figure out what we will talk about? Yes. If yes, so those are phrasal verbs. More than 10,000 phrasal verbs in English language. But do you know what are phrasal verbs? And why should we learn phrasal verbs?
Learn English with JIJI. Easy way. Facilement, بسهولة. Talk, read, write in English. Parle, lire et écrire en anglais. تحدث واقرأ واكتب بالإنجليزية. So fast, si rapidement. وبسرعة. Learn with JIJI is the best way to learn. So be with us and subscribe.
Hello, this is JIJI with you in Learn English with JIJI. In this video, we'll talk about phrasal verbs. So let's start with small introduction. Phrasal verbs are simply a type of a multi-word verb that consists of a verb and one or more particle. The particle can be adverbs or prepositions, and they change the meaning of the verb in unique ways, like go out, break out, pass away, get up, and the only reason that we learn them is because are commonly used in everyday English and are an essential part of a conversation. They add to language that helps speakers express themselves more precisely. Now, after we knew what the phrasal verbs are, we should just ask a crucial question. How we learn phrasal verbs?
How?
Should we memorize them? Should we know all the type of phrasal verbs? Transitive, intransitive, separable, inseparable, etc.? Sure no.
No, sure. No.
Here we are with 4 ways to learn phrasal verbs in a beneficial way. The first one is to learn from songs. How? So, learning phrasal verbs from songs is a fun and engaging way to expand your vocabulary and improve your understanding of English. Songs often contain colloquial language and idiomatic expressions, including phrasal verbs. And here are few popular songs that feature phrasal verb along with their meaning. And the first one is Wake Me Up by Avicii.
So wake me up when it's all over.
So phrasal verb wake up, and it means to stop sleeping and become conscious. The second song is To Shake It Off by Taylor Swift.
Shake it off.
And phrasal verb to shake off, and it means to get rid of something or to overcome a negative feeling. And the last one or the third, and Counting Stars by One Republic, and I really like this song, and they use it like 2 phrasal verbs. It have like I have been losing sleep, and
I've been losing sleep.
it means you are unable to sleep. And the second one is I see this life like a sewing vine.
Like a swinging vine, swing my heart.
And a sewing vine means to visit quickly. Remember that phrasal verbs are often have multiple meaning depending on the context, so it's important to consider the lyrics and overall message of the song to fully understand the intent usage of the phrasal verb. And now we move to the second and the way, and its context. Learning phrasal verbs from context involves understanding how these verbs are used within a sentence or a large context. For example, I just haven't been able to get around to telephoning my mother. So to get around, it means reach, or find time for, or it means to look for. So understanding from the context, it means he didn't find time for phoning his mother. The second example, is it difficult to bring up child? Is it care, provide, or rise? Bring up, it means to rise. It's hard to rise a child. And the third example, the child looks after his mother, not his father. Look after. So look after, does it mean stayed with or flowed or resembled? And it totally means resemble to his mom, not to his father. So now we'll move to the third way to learn phrasal verbs. This method, it doesn't go along with all the phrasal verbs because it's like you need to know the origin. So the third one is to know the origin, to know the historical background of the phrasal verbs. This way is kind of hard somehow because you need to look back to the history of how and why people used to use these phrasal verbs. That's why, for example, turn on the light was totally different as we are doing now. As you can see in the picture, they were turning on and off. That's why we are keeping saying turn on. So another example, to hang up the phone back up to old days, they hang up the earpiece on the receiver. This way I don't rely on this method because it's a bit hard to figure out the origin of all phrasal verbs. Now let's talk about the fourth way. Learn with the same particle. Learning with the same particle give you a great chance to remember the phrasal verbs than learning with same verbs. It can help you understand common patterns and association. Here are some examples of phrasal verbs with particle up. And the first one is wake up. Wake up, to sleep, to stop sleeping and become conscious. Example, I wake up at 7 a.m. every day. Cheer up, to make someone feel happier or more positive. Example, I brought her flowers to cheer her up.
Hi, Becky. I got you some flowers.
And the third example, clean up. Clean up, to tidy or remove dirt or clutter from space. Example, we need to clean up the kitchen after dinner. Remember that phrasal verbs are integral parts of everyday English, and mastering them will greatly enhance your language skills. Embrace the learning process, be patient with yourself, and practice consistently to become more comfortable and proficient with phrasal verbs over time. And now, as we reach to the end of the video, I would like to share with you some useful apps to help you learning phrasal verbs easily. And the first app is Mesmerize. And the second one is Phrasal App Machine. They will help you improve your skills and vocabulary with phrasal verbs. So, thank you for watching the video. And don't forget to subscribe and comment in the video. And see you in another video. Goodbye.